Well, first off, I want to start out with this little observation on a silver update. Hillary, since you're running for president, look at what you're missing out on, right? Your husband's telling you to run for president because he wants to be co-president and stay in the office again and get that hole in your tongue fixed, lady. Anyway, that's just something I want to start this video out as a tension getter. But I'm going to tell you right now that first, I'm going to kind of jump around like a little bit like I usually do, but I'm going to give you some, I think good stellar inside observations on some of these things because, as we're going down the road here waiting for silver to go up. Well, first off, one of the things you really watch for is that silver gold ratio or gold silver ratio. Actually, silver gold ratio. They always call it a gold silver ratio, but it's silver divided by whatever. It's whatever the hell it is. But the thing is, it only takes a very short period of time for it to go down really to where we want it to, say 30 to 1. And even if gold is only $2,000 an ounce at 30 to 1, it's going to be about $67 for silver, which is reasonable. Now, I think where it might, well, first off, I know I'm shooting from the hip on here, but, just looking at how things went in the past, a lot of times when something, if it breaks through an all-time high, you can figure it's going to go significantly above that, right? Now, the other thing is, there's also going to be these voices out there saying it's going to go to like 10 times the price. Like if it goes through 50, it'll immediately be saying it's going to go to 500. Now, obviously, I think that could happen eventually, but I think at that time, if it goes well through 50, I'm going to definitely trade a good portion of it, most of it over, and opt for property probably in the Smoky Mountains and with a lot of with a lot of land, serious acreage and buildings and all this other garbage. Because I think when it gets down to the silver gold ratio gets down to say 10 to 1 or 15 to 1, and the price of gold is $5,000, and silver would be hundreds of dollars an ounce. So even if it was 20 to 1 at $5,000, it would still be $250 an ounce. I think there's going to be tremendous social unrest. Now, one of the big hints I've been seeing that's recently, first off, the major media is talking a lot about, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to jump around in this video a little bit, but, I don't like making a lot of different videos just for attention grabbing, okay? I mean, it's, no matter what you do, you're cursed, right? So many bitches. But I'm going to try to, like I said, I'm going to try to give you freaking different angles on things. But the major media is also even hinting at market crashes. Goldman Sachs itself is saying sell. There's sell signals out there. See, I think the writing's on the wall that Trump is going to get in. I think Hillary's just too unhealthy besides. And I think the popular vote is something like 75% that's not voting for Hillary, maybe 80% not voting for Hillary. You know how I know this? If you look and see, the reason I'm stating this is I'm actually going to tell you something that's going to conclude to with the economic situation, because the big boys are for Hillary. If she don't win, they're going to make Trump look as bad as possible, because his freaking big political slogan is "Make America Great Again." They're going to crash the hell out of the economy, the stock market, and oil prices are going to go way up. As a matter of fact, I've just seen mainstream media oil prices, articles on oil prices saying that oil expected to go up dramatically. Now, I know it went up to about $50 on the WTI. Now it went down to 40. Now it's getting a little more life. But, that's almost like that typical pullback when it's going into a bull market. It went up to 50. It was down at like almost 20 something. It was in the 20s, and then it goes up to almost 50, then it pulls back to 40. But that's like that typical freaking type of stuff that happens when it's in a real bull market again. And the major media is also talking about the bear market for oil could be over in a flash. In other words, we could have a flash upward. And that's what I'm kind of expecting. When that happens, you're going to see the silver, gold, and everything else go way up, because when oil goes in an extreme bull market, that's when you see the silver-gold ratio or gold-silver ratio, move in a direction that's favorable to us. And what happens is that you actually see a lot of gains real rapidly in silver faster than you will gold. That's when the correlation when oil goes into an extreme bull market, that's when the correlation between gold, silver, and oil all starts running. They all start running together, especially when oil's in a bull market, real strong. Right now, it doesn't seem that way, but the major media is warning it's going way up. Now, something else I want to point to: world population growth. This is actually going to affect the commodity prices. It's amazing. They're saying all the commodities are down due to demand, but you know what? Even in the field of oil consumption, yeah, maybe it's steadied out in the European nations, Japan, and the United States, but there's a lot more new drivers out there in the developing nations, or whatever you want to call it, China, maybe it's a developed nation now. A lot more new drivers out there in the middle class in India, Brazil, even in the Middle East and Saudi. There's a lot of new drivers out there. I think they're skewing the numbers a lot. Now, I'm going to tell you something else about skewing the numbers. Now, I know they're going to try to make Trump lose this election, but I think there's just way too many people against Hillary. They're disgusted with her. So that's why I think Trump's going to win no matter what they poll. But, talking about skewing the numbers, skewing the numbers, you're seeing this all the time in the economics. You're seeing it just to make things look good. So, they're telling you the economy's great. They're telling you that Trump is losing bad in the polls, but if you look at Facebook, number of likes on Trump and number of likes on Hillary Clinton, it's like it's like telling you the populace is saying Trump is way more favorable rating than Hillary. Also, I noticed even on YouTube with Hillary when she posted video, massive dislikes. I mean, I don't know where the hell they're coming. See, the major media is such a liars, right? Now, the thing is, they probably will try to steal the election. This was actually from this guy. This is actually an old snippet, and it's an article that's been scrubbed off the internet. It's actually, I found it from a snippet someplace. It was about Alan Lee Gibbs, 47 years old. He was a guy that, what do you call it, invented the True Vote machine. When you had a touchscreen machine and you got a verifiable receipt, you got a paper receipt, it printed out a receipt with a special number on it that you could take that unique identifier number and go on the internet and verify that your vote was counted. He was killed back in 2004. This is actually from 2004, March 13th, 2004. According to this, they said it was like he cut in front of a semi and then the semi hit him, and then he lost control of his Chevy Blazer. It flipped over a bunch of times, went over a retaining wall and everything, and then landed on the roof, and he died, right? After Gibbs was ejected from the vehicle. So, to me, it looks like, to tell you the truth, I think this truck smashed him in the back, made him lose control on purpose. And his voting machine with an audit trail, which you really want in any, I'm an accountant, okay? I'm a senior accountant. I did controller services and I was a controller too, senior accountant, not a CPA. I don't like taxes. I don't get bored with that shit. But I get bored with accounting too, to tell you the truth. That's why I'm doing this. I don't like doing too much with these numbers, man. But the thing is, the other thing is, the guy was. In accounting, you always have an audit trail. You always have something to verify that, that transaction was legit. They would never do this anywhere in a monetary world where you didn't have some kind of paper audit trail on top of the electronic, right? I mean, you got to have, it's like having a bank account when you're not allowed to have a paper statement with all your transactions on it, right? Imagine having that. Imagine having a bank account with no detailed transactions and no way you can download something to print it out or anything. Even though it's electronic, you can still print it, right? That's exactly it's like that in everything in business, right? So why isn't it like that in voting? Because they can cheat. But I think with Hillary, she's so freaking screwed up and people hate her so much that I think that she's going to lose, okay? Now, the thing is, like that, and also the fact that you can play a lot of games with web bots trading with each other to keep the markets going up, up, up. I think the reality situation is there's going to be a lot of demand on resources. just because of what the world population growth has been. It's exploding. It's exploding in the developing world. The developing world is coming more online, using up these resources. They're coming out of the caves are basically going on with the modern world. So there's gonna be a lot more demand on oil, a lot more demand on silver for electronics. Maybe not so much demand on gold, but if there's a debt bomb that goes off, there is going to be major demand on gold, and that's the deal. Now, one of the things I've always been harping on is actually if we just went back to the way things were in the 50s, we'd probably be fine. I know I can't really idealize that period enough because, to tell you the truth, since the 50s to now, not only has our financial system draconially changed, but almost every facet of our lives has now been regulated by the government, whether it's the EPA, what you could say, what you can do. A kid walking out in the woods with a slingshot or something is like they'll have the freaking the SWAT team on him or something. Kid burping in class, they call the police. I put a video out on that. Had the kid arrested and was upheld in court for kid burping in class, burping in the hallway. I'm like, what the hell? And even back in the 50s, I'll tell you this. Not to rag on this chick that's standing next to the model that's fake here, because I know the model that's fake is kind of like idealized slim, but our food supply has been poisoning the crap out of us for the last 30 years. Since we went to genetically modified and the high fructose corn syrup. It's like everything across the board is screwed up. It's not even just about buy silver to fight the bankers. It's like you got to fight them on every aspect of the frontier here. But just to give you a little tidbit out there, like Marilyn Monroe, she had a figure of 38, 22, 35, right? That was her statistics. 38 bust, real, no silicone. And I know she wasn't a natural blonde. It was Norma Jean, whatever her name was. And she had a 22-inch waist, and she had 35 hips, right? Butt, whatever it was. Then, but the average woman at that time in America had a 24 to 25-inch waist. That was in her 20s. 24 to 25 inch. So in other words, Marilyn Monroe wasn't that much more hourglass shaped than the average woman in the United States. That was in her 20s. The average woman in the United States was 30, 34, 24, 25, 34. That was her shape, Today, the average waist of an American woman, even in her 20s or in her early 30s, is 34 inches, which is the bust size and hip size of the average woman in the 1950s. Now, I'm not ragging on the woman here, okay? Because it happens with the guys, too, okay? What's going on here is we're being poisoned with the foods. And at the same time, they're trying to make you have a 20-inch waist with models and stuff, right? And you're supposed to freaking, get anorexic and shit, right? Crap. I was almost anorexic once, too, when I was in my mid-50s, man. I was, down to, below a 30-inch waist. I was like, holy shit. Anyway, but the deal is that I threw that in there because just for food for thought, because it's like we're getting attacked on every front. It's not just a matter of the banking system. They're screwing up our health. They're doing everything. And, I'm going to tell you something, too. Maybe this sounds negative, and hopefully people don't get mad at me because, I'm going to tell you, you look at all these. I put some videos out about people being killed by the Clintons recently and stuff, and YouTube don't like those things, man. I mean, at a minimum, I have to request a manual review for monetization, and sometimes they flat out don't. They just say it's not not eligible. Period, man. I'm like, holy shit, I don't know what the hell's going on because sometimes I'm thinking I don't know what the hell I did so. It's so not eligible for monetization. I know one thing. I can tell you one thing. Anything I put out politically incorrect, and you think I'm doing this for attention when I'm putting out something politically incorrect? I guarantee you, anything I do politically incorrect probably makes about 25% of the revenue of anything else that's just not politically incorrect. All right, they're doing it to me, man, and I'm doing it. I'm still a dumbass, and I'm freaking. So if you think I'm not a truther, I am a truther. I'm going to tell you something about the truthers, though. You know, all these dead bodies with the Clintons. I'm going to tell you, how come Alex Jones ain't dead? You know, he's been doing that shit for 30 years, and he was the guy that filmed Bohemian Grove and stuff. You know, come on, come on, come on, get with it. I know he's got some good stuff. You know, Luke Randowski with his We Are Change, he gets an interview with the freaking Rothschilds. Yeah, okay, sure. And then he tells him, weren't you responsible for millions of deaths and stuff? Instead of freaking asking him about, well, can't you make weed legal everywhere in the whole country, all the world? That's what I would have asked a freaking Rothschild. I wouldn't give him a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, YouTube, leave me alone, man. I'm not a Bible thumper. So anyway, I'm just gonna be out here to freaking tell you what I think, just like this lizard. Hey, yeah, man. Anyway, the deal is with silver. I've noticed that every time that silver gold ratio, whatever the hell it is, or gold silver ratio, drops real fast, in other words, it goes along and it's in the doldrums, and all of a sudden, wham! And it seems like it's starting to reverse course. I don't have the chart in front of me, and I don't know if I should put the chart up here because maybe it's a copyrighted chart. You know what I mean? I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. I'm going to make your own charts or something. The thing is, I've been noticing that the silver gold ratio has been going off a cliff, actually. You know, you're seeing the price go up. You know, it did go up significantly from the 14 something to 20, right? Whatever the hell it is, around 20, roughly. That's a big jump pretty quick. But the last time I saw this stuff go off a cliff with the silver gold ratio, whatever the hell it is, it didn't take long for silver to go high, really high. Now, I think ultimately it might take several years for it to go to the hundreds of dollars an ounce. Well, like I said, I want to be up in the boonies in the hills if that happens. I'm telling you right now, man. I'm thinking even Florida ain't going to be safe, man. It's too crowded. This is the third most populous state in the whole damn country. I don't think nothing's going to happen in the next couple of years, though. I think there's going to be some problems, but I think when the whole shit really falls apart, it's going to be, I don't know when exactly, but I think within the next year or two, you might see silver over 50. That's not where it's going to wind up. But I know I'm going to be dumping it and getting land up in the Smoky Mountains, man. I'm thinking Smoky Mountains. Yeehaw! Flying the stars and bars. And what's she have on her shirt here? Panhead power, man. Panhead power. Remember that? Every time, we're like the silver people are like the bikers of old. You know, when the shovelhead came out, that shovelhead ain't no good. You gotta have a panhead. When the panhead came out, that flathead ain't no good. You gotta have, you know what I mean? You gotta have that panhead ain't no good. You gotta have a flathead, right? Yeah, when the Evo, well, I don't know. That's what they always do, right? But resistance to change is futile. But I still resist. I don't give a shit. But anyway, some things never change, like hot thighs. But let me put it to you this way again. The deal is with silver, it's old school all the way. And I'm probably going to put a lot more, I really, on this channel, obviously, this is not really, I don't know what the hell the name of this channel. I don't feel like making 50 million channels because I actually go over every subject there is in the world. And that's my style, man. Probably goes along with my horoscope. I got many divergent interests. So my channel is all over the place. Actually probably going to start fighting in on some of the medical mafia again, and also the psychiatric profession, because that's another area they're looking to control the population. If you're a dissident, they're going to use special treatments for you to shut you up and all this kind of shit. And I'm actually going to go over some of that. I know every time I put a video out on that, I actually had to go get a manual review on monetization and stuff. I was like, God. What the hell have they got over here? Like little gremlin computers looking for anything that criticizes corporate money? Is that what that shit is? Is that what's going on over here in Google land? And to tell you the truth, Google's run by the CIA. More or less. Or the CIA, well, it's not all run by the CIA. I shouldn't say that. The CIA is involved in Google. And since Google bought out YouTube, unfortunately, They're in the YouTube too. As a matter of fact, I think the only reason they let you people like me say shit like this is going to use it against me in the future. Say, look, you said this way back in 2016, and we find you guilty of being a terrorist against the state. Yeah, great. Anyway, I'm aware of that. You know what I mean? So again, just let me just reiterate, summarize the deal. Um, the major media is talking about the bear market of oil. It can be over almost instantly. The reason I say that's going to happen is this. I think Trump's going to win despite all the freaking voter rigging. Even though we know the voter rigging is done, it's like there's way too many people that don't want Hillary. He's probably going to win. So in order to freaking make him look as bad as possible, what do? Raise the price of oil and kill the freaking economy and make everybody suffer a lot. They're keeping it low right now, not just for attacking Russia, but also to keep Obama looking great. When the price of oil is low, everybody's got this little, what do you call it, quote unquote, extra money. Yeah, extra money, my ass. But anyway, that's why you got motorcycles, right? And that's why you got siphon tubes that, work on Mercedes and politicians' cars and Big Brother cars and shit. Anyway, so that's why you got pinheads, all right? Now, the other thing is they're going to crash the crap out of the markets. Goldman Sachs is warning the investors, get the hell out, start selling stuff. When they're doing this, nothing's going to happen between now and an election, I don't think. I know I've seen other people say, October 2nd, yeah, it's going to have to happen by the October 2nd because of the calendar says this, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't think anything's going to happen because they want her ass in office, But I don't think she's going to get in despite everything they try to pull. Even with all this stuff, Hillary's ahead by 15 points. And you got a bunch. I'm looking at her YouTube channel. She's got like 1 million dislikes, 1 million. But you know what I mean. And I'm looking at Facebook. And I'm like, this lady ain't popular. What are you kidding me? God, man, it's like Orwellian. God. And you guys over there in YouTube, and what is you in Mountain View Avenue, wherever the hell you're at? Hey, Viva la California, man. All right, so if you got to review my video or something, just chill out, man. I mean, God, man, you guys are getting. I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing, man? I mean, you think I'm a religious nut? I ain't a religious nut. I don't give a shit about that stuff. You know what I mean? Hillary, she can do what the hell she wants. She can go after all these broads and these motorcycles. Just stay the hell out of the White House. We don't need you in there, damn it. You could be the hot mama in charge of a gang, a lesbian biker gang or something. I don't give a shit. It could be cool for that. Actually, I probably think, in another role, she'd be all right. You know what I mean? I don't really hate her or nothing. I just like ragging on her, man. She's so much fun. She's actually losing her head, man. Did you see her recently? She's like, it was almost like a computer short-circuiting. Her head's been bobbing around. She's got some kind of problems. Tell you the truth, I'd make a deal with her, Hillary. This is how much I don't really hate her. Tell you the truth, even though I rag on her all the time, this is how much I don't really hate her at all. I'd make a deal with her. I'd cure her of every one of her problems. And as long as she stays out of the White House, she keeps her billions of dollars. You change her identity. All those guys that gave you all that money to freaking do the dirty deeds in the White House, screw them. Thanks for the tokens. You keep your billions of dollars, and you can head up a national lesbian biker gang. And you could be the hot mama in charge, and we'll fix you up, man. All right? So, the elite got their deal with you, and Synergy 7's got his deal with you. So, I think you got to take the Synergy 7 deal. But I like to experiment, fix you up at all those, get rid of all those problems you got with your tongue and stuff. Okay, YouTube, you all right with that, Mr. Mountain View, freaking whatever the hell you guys do to judgment of the YouTubers on here? Am I being too outlandish? I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway, but again, I think I think silver in the next year or two is going to take off pretty hard, but that's not going to be the ultimate high. I think it's going to go up to, it's going to bust through 50. I was figuring between 60 and 75, but I don't know, 65, 67, 70, and then it's probably going to pull back again into the 30s, and then before it takes the final rush. But like I said, I'm going to probably dump most of it way before it gets up to the 200 something dollars an ounce because I want to have, you know, um, like acreage up in the hills, man, with a bunch of those container house things and stuff for storage and log cabins and freaking solar panels. you know, I'm not going to get involved in the fights that are going on in cities when everything erupts and the government collapses. Have fun. I'll be out there up in the hills, man. And you know what, Hillary? You know what? If you get out of politics, I'll take you in, man. We can have some good times together, man. I don't give a shit. I'll fix you up, you crazy, crazy loco freaking woman. Actually, you'd be cool. You'd be cool at running the joint, man, with the lesbian biker gang. Now I know people on YouTube got pissed off at me for saying that, but I think that broad is freaking wild, man. To tell you the truth, if she wasn't a politician, I'd probably like her. I'm telling you that right now. She's a crazy broad, man. I don't like her as a politician. That's the problem because we know she's selling out the United States left and right for freaking people on the other side of the world. And I think Trump. I don't know. I don't give a shit what Trump does. I think they ought to just put a wall around D.C. and close it off and get rid of the government and the hell with this shit. Tell you the truth, that would fix all the politics. Okay. All right. That's what I think. Okay. Over and out.